President Joe Biden speaks with Russian President Vladimir Putin on the phone from his private residence in Wilmington on Thursday. President Joe Biden warned President Vladimir Putin on Thursday that continuing Russia's aggressive military buildup on the border with Ukraine could force NATO to move more troops into Eastern Europe and reiterated any further violation of its territory would exact serious costs and consequences, administration officials said. But they also expressed hope that more formal strategic stability talks between Washington and Moscow, which are set for January on a myriad of issues, could lead to a path out of the current crisis. President Biden laid out two aspects of the U.S. approach that will really depend on Russia's actions in the period ahead, a senior administration official told reporters after the afternoon call Washington time. One is a path of diplomacy leading toward a declaration of the situation, and the other is a path that is more focused on deterrence, including serious costs and consequences should Russia choose to proceed with a further invasion of Ukraine. The officials said that includes adjustments and augmentation of NATO force posture in allied countries as well as additional assistance to Ukraine to enable it to further defend itself and its territory. In a statement, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki also said Biden told Putin that the U.S. and its allies will respond decisively if Russia further invades Ukraine. Putin's foreign policy advisor, Yuri Ushakov, reportedly said unprecedented sanctions leveled on Russia by the U.S. could cause most serious damage and a total severance of relations. But the Russian side, which has threatened in recent days that moves to include Ukraine in NATO would lead to a major war in Europe, appeared to strike a positive tone after the call. Ushakov reportedly said that Biden told the Russian leader that the United States would not place missiles in Ukraine. It is interesting that Ushakov kind of sounded an upbeat, optimistic note shortly after the call, saying that Biden had reassured that the U.S. doesn't have the intention of putting missiles in Ukraine, said John Hardy, a Russia expert at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, a hawkish think tank. From the Russian side, they seem slightly more optimistic than they were overall. Psaki also relayed the president's hopes for the more formal schedule of talks between the two governments on a host of topics, ranging from Ukraine to nuclear weapons and cyber attacks, as well as separate discussions at the NATO-Russia Council and the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, which also includes Ukraine. President Biden reiterated that substantive progress in these dialogues can occur only in an environment of de-escalation rather than escalation, Psaki said. The senior administration official told reporters that the upcoming meetings will address a range of concerns about Russian behavior, yet there will be some degree of overlap among the different conversations. We will make very clear and come to a very clear understanding and have already set about doing that as to exactly what the agenda of each set of conversations will be, and that is going to be some of the focus of the diplomacy over the next week, 10 days, the official said. The senior administration official described it as part of a series of end-of-the-year calls that President Putin has been engaged in. But this was not sort of mere pleasantries, the official added. This was a serious, substantive conversation. Putin's overture has sparked suspicion among some close observers of the crisis that he is trying to take advantage of Biden to maximize his next aggressive move. I'm concerned that what he is doing is trying to collect intelligence on Biden or setting the groundwork for what he intends to do anyway, said Evelyn Farkas, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Russia, Ukraine, and Eurasia in the Obama administration. It's fraught for him. It is quite possible Putin has decided to invade, she added. I think Biden had to take the call, but to me, it is not necessarily a good sign. Russia has been building up its military forces and constructing new bases along the eastern border of Ukraine for months, including troops, armored vehicles and supplies that could indicate plans for a full and extended invasion. Satellite images in recent weeks have shown little sign Moscow is pulling back and even some signs of expanding, even as diplomatic efforts have inched forward. The U.S. view remains that Moscow needs to pull back its troops from the border before any agreement that takes into Russia's public concerns about NATO expansion can be addressed. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and stay tuned for more U.S. political